We are live. Hello, lovelies. My name is Stephanie Classy. I'm the head of education here at Go Pure and your licensed clinical SD bestie. And we have an amazing live today that I am so excited about. We're going to be talking all about the ABCs of antioxidant skincare, summer skin concerns, and how the challenges of aging skin impact us, especially in this season. We have a very special guest today as well. I see so many of you on already. I see Donna and Amy and Lisa. Mary is here. Chris is here. Welcome. When you hop on, say hello. Let us know where you're joining us from. And we're just going to get right into the show. If you have been on a live before, let us know. And if this is your first live, let us know too, because we may have some new guests here invited by Vanessa. So I'm so excited. And I wanted to introduce myself to anyone that was new. My name is Stephanie Classy. I have been a licensed esthetician for over a decade, but I have been working in the beauty industry for over 20 years. And I am so passionate about helping empower women to have an effective and easy to understand skincare routine at home. And that's how I found myself here at Go Pure as the esthetician for the brand. And I just love helping all of you on your Go Pure journey. And as you know, here at Go Pure, we make clinically effective skincare at an always affordable price. So you can feel confident in your skin every day and at every single stage of life. And that is what is so important to us. So hello. Diane says it's her first live. Welcome. Well, you are in for a treat because yes, we love showering you with that empowering education and information for your skincare routine and bringing on incredible guests. But I love doing giveaways, and we are also going to be doing giveaways all throughout this live. So like, comment, share with your friends, whether you're on YouTube, on Facebook, or in our VIP group. Invite people, invite them to join and show up in the conversation because Kaylee, our other brand educator and esthetician, is in the comments behind the scenes and our incredible customer service team because we have 5-star customer service here. You all and all of our customers are the most important thing to us here at Go Pure. We are a customer first company and we want to answer your questions. We want to see what you have to say. So welcome. I'm looking off to the side at all of the comments. Deborah, welcome. Kimberly. So I want to get right into it because I understand that choosing the right skincare products can feel overwhelming, but it really is as easy as learning your ABCs. And we have a very special guest today to help us chat about summer skin concerns, skin aging, and how to use the Go Pure antioxidants serums to support your skin. And so I want to introduce Vanessa, our special guest. So Vanessa Chamberlin is an author and passionate gray hair influencer, and she is dedicated to inspiring and empowering women to embrace their white hair, navigate the aging process, experience menopause, and build unwavering confidence. And who thinks that sounds amazing? In the comments, let us know if you think that sounds amazing and if you're excited to meet her. Her mission is to provide inspiration and courage, reminding women that beauty knows no age and that self-acceptance is a powerful journey worth embracing. You can find Vanessa on social media. Her social media name is Silver Liberation. And I've just loved watching her grow. She just makes the most amazing content. She is skin-inspiring because she has the glowiest, most gorgeous skin, beautiful hair, and she is just so fun to talk with. But what's really cool is that she is very passionate about not just skin and skincare, but wellness overall, and really helping women navigate that journey of menopause and sharing her personal experience with that. And she has been coaching students to let go of what no longer serves them and how important it is to work on that inner beauty, because that is something that no one can ever take away from you. So welcome, Vanessa. Welcome to the Go Pure Glow Show.
I'm so excited to be here. I've been looking forward to this conversation. I'm like you when it comes to skincare and beauty and health and wellness and self-love and gray hair and the aging process. I'm in it. I am for it. Let's just get down to business.
I'm just so excited that you're here. And we have so many people in the comments saying hello. Ellen says hi. And we just are we have a plan for this live and the things we want to talk about, but we also just want this to be a really authentic conversation. Vanessa has some questions she's going to ask me that I don't know, because like if Vanessa has a question, I'm sure that you all have those questions too. So we're going to kind of demystify the idea of what antioxidants are. And in the comments, who here has heard the term antioxidants? I'm sure you have heard the term antioxidants, but not everyone really knows what antioxidants are and what they do. And it's not just something that we apply in our skincare. We hear it nutritionally, and different vitamins support different skin functions. They offer a range of benefits. But I always just say, listen, if you're applying your skincare, you're getting antioxidants, because you're like, that's what these skincare vitamins are antioxidants. And do you have any thoughts on that when it comes to like nutrition as well?
Well, yeah, antioxidants are the superstar. I mean, we are so bombarded with the outside toxins that every day, I mean, the light, our computers, all of it, the sun damage, and antioxidants are our best friends for our skin, and we can get at it at multiple ways. We can get at it with your skincare, with GoPure, but we can also get at it with what we eat. Yes. And together, then we are really, if we want to have our most vibrant, youthful looking skin, no matter what our age, and look our best, it requires antioxidants. And, they are the superstars for sure, but they're simpler than we realize.
Yes.
We don't need a science degree to understand it. That's the beauty of it.
Yeah, for sure. I want to share a little esthetician note, in fact, because antioxidants scavenge free radicals and they help prevent free radical damage. And that is one of the main things that impacts our skin. But basically, free radicals are reactive and unstable molecules. And they cause damage to our skin, our cells, our cellular structures. And they really accelerate the appearance of skin aging. But they're created by natural processes, just like literally our natural processes generate these reactive molecules. But external triggers like UV exposure, numero uno for sure, but also stress and smoking. Like you said, those environmental toxin things like pollution, very, very hard on our skin when it comes to generating those free radicals. And antioxidants work to help bond with those and help prevent that stress to the skin and that damage to the skin. And it's the same thing internally, like you said, with nutrition. But if you're getting a well-rounded diet and skincare routine, you're getting those antioxidants.
Right. But I think that, it's just like, you don't think if you're an office worker, or let's just say that you're someone that works at Target, as an example, or any department store, and you've got those fluorescent lights all day long on you, you are being bombarded with it. So it's like people say, well, no, I already don't go out in the sun, or you cannot get away from it.
Well, and even the fact that we don't even think that just our natural body processes generate them, just like existing, we are getting that free radical damage, even without all of those other things that can exacerbate it and expose us to that for sure. But I wanted to ask you a question from your perspective when it comes to having gone through menopause, going through menopause, because it's summertime. And we know that UV and UV exposure is that huge trigger when it comes to skin damage and free radical damage, and why we need antioxidants. But I would love for you to just, because it's seasonal, and I want to have that conversation as it relates to menopause and summer about like, how is our skin feeling, especially menopausal skin in the summer, and why we would maybe need to pay attention to that a little bit more.
Oh my goodness. I am here for this. This is, first of all, I want to just be full disclosure. I am 53 years young, and I started the menopause process when I was about 42, and I still, full disclosure, I take bioidentical hormones, and it's a saving grace for me. But I can tell you that, we talk about the free radical damage to our skin. your skin's a lot more forgiving when you're younger. You don't want to do that damage, but let me just tell you, it will show up with a vengeance. All the years of the things you did when you were younger, once menopause hits, especially, it's like full stop. Suddenly, the tan you used to get out in the sun, all you get are sunspots and melasma and H spots and redness and drying skin. So for me, when menopause hit, I had to reevaluate everything I thought I knew about my skincare. In fact, I really was doing the minimal. I mean, I think probably a little more than minimal. I was going like once a month for a facial, but I wasn't spending very much on skincare because I just thought I got, oh, my skin looks good. And then when that menopause hit and the hormones changed, the hormone fluctuation with our estrogen and testosterone and progesterone, all of those are vital for our juiciness of life and our skin, our body, our mood, all of it. Mm-hmm. And so when that shifts, it does radical, your skin suffers. Let's just say the skin absolutely suffers. And that's when you really need to up level your game, especially, I love that we're talking about the ABCs today, because the melasma and the sunspots on my hands, came out like in full force. Mm-hmm. And I had that when I was, I noticed, it's interesting because I know how powerful hormones are, because when I was pregnant, I had that, what they call the pregnancy mask. So with each pregnancy, I would get kind of this, but then it would go away. But now with menopause, it shows up. And if you're not constantly treating it with these different ABCs and the serums, it will come back. It doesn't ever really go away. You can calm it down, and then obviously wear your sunscreens, things we'll talk about. But in regards to summer, Stephanie, it is night and day difference. And I'm not out in the sun, so let's be clear. Even though I live in Las Vegas, in the sunniest part of the world, I still am very careful with sunscreen. I'm not out there without a hat, being very cautious. It's the heat. Mm-hmm. It is the heat, and I think that's the biggest misnomer, is that people just think, well, if I'm not in the sun, then I'm, then it's okay. But no, and women who've been through menopause or are going through it, or perimenopause, you know what you know. And that is that heat, as soon as it gets hotter, like my skin, even now, it looks great because I've worked hard on it. But I can tell you that in the wintertime, my skin is 10 times more flawless looking because of having a cooler environment for the skin. And I do the same, I'll do some of the same kind of skincare routine. I'll add things in the summer, but it's just, some of those things are really, we need something different in the heat of summer, for sure, for our skin. And the drying, can we just talk about the Sahara Desert? And we're not the Sahara Desert all over. Okay, we're not, this isn't a menopause thing, but it's like, it's like everything kind of dries up, and we need to give it the moisture.
Yeah. And like, I love that you brought those up, because in summer, it's so extreme. And when we had kind of chatted leading up to this, I loved that you brought up heat, because that's something that as an educator, I bring up quite a bit, because people don't think about how heat impacts our skin negatively, summer and winter, right. And how it's more drying, but how it impacts our dark spots and hyperpigmentation. And well, we're really going to get into that when we talk about vitamin C, because that's a superstar there. So what we're going to do here for everyone today for the ABCs is we're going to go through vitamin A, vitamin B, and vitamin C. We're going to keep it very simple. We're going to kind of talk about the main superstar product for that, like why our skin and our body need that vitamin, and what it can actually help improve the appearance of, and how you can incorporate it into your routine. And we're going to both kind of share from our personal perspective, mine as an esthetician, but I'm about to turn 42 years old as well. I'm very much on the path of like those various hormonal changes. And day by day, it's just a different experience. And so Vanessa and I are going to share our experience with these, why they're important, and what main skin concerns that they will address for you all, really at any age. How does that sound for everyone here? And it's interesting, like people are sharing in the comments, like what it's like where they live and how that impacts their skin, because sometimes when it is more dry, because I live in Denver and it's extremely dry in Denver, I have different issues with my skin with the heat than potentially someone that lives, I see Renita saying Louisiana, and it is so humid in Louisiana, and that's going to have a whole other impact on the skin. But that heat alone just really can wreak havoc on our skin. So Vanessa has having a little internet issues, but I'm going to hop into it just really quickly. When she's back on, we'll pop her right back in for the chat. But let's start with vitamin A, because like I said, most of the ingredients that you use in your skincare routine are antioxidants. They are antioxidant rich, both the superstars and the supporting, the supporting ingredients are all antioxidants. Oh, yes. You know what? We are going to do a giveaway. Vanessa, I forgot. I almost got right into it. And we need to do a giveaway too. I totally forgot about that. Welcome back.
Sorry, my internet.
So,
everyone just, I mean, I'm here quiet. I've prayed God, a little feisty. So hopefully I'll not get bummed much.
The internet is not always our friend, unfortunately. But while now we have Vanessa back, Kaylee, can you choose a giveaway winner for us to kick off the show? And you are going to win a serum of your choice. And we will reach out to you. Oh, yay! Chris Solzner, you have won an antioxidant serum of your choice. So we have the Firm and Lift serum, we have the 10% niacinamide booster, the Dramatically Dewy serum, the Brighten and Even serum, and our incredible Hydrate and Smooth serum. So at the end of the show, you don't have to choose now, but we are going to be doing giveaways all throughout for a serum of your choice. And then remember, at the end, we will have a grand prize winner that actually gets a trio of serums. So that will be so super fun. So let's just hop into vitamin A. And vitamin A, if you have your Go Pure serums, you can grab it. This is the Firm and Lift serum. So the Firm and Lift serum is our retinol serum. And retinol and retinoids are derived from vitamin A. And what's really cool about retinol and retinoids is they really are kind of that cornerstone anti-aging skincare ingredient. And they support a more youthful cell turnover. They support the natural production of proteins in our skin like collagen and elastin. And they can really improve the appearance of lines and wrinkles, sagging skin, and overall redensify the look of the skin. So, Vanessa, besides sunscreen, vitamin A derivatives are probably the most powerful anti-aging skincare ingredient. I know we both agree on that, but can you give a bit of a perspective on skin aging and menopause when it comes to lines and wrinkles specifically, how our skin is impacted when it comes to lines and wrinkles with menopause, and why they might want to think about using a retinol serum?
Oh my goodness. Once again, those hormones start to fluctuate, everything changes. You'll start noticing production, so maybe more sagging. You see more lines in your face, or dryness like nobody's business. It's like your skin. It's almost not feels that way. It's a sludge. Like that sluggish look happens once you're going through, in my experience, and putting on just general face creams, your wasn't cutting anymore. And so for me, it was the fine wrinkles really showed up, dry, dull skin, all of that showed up with it, and it had seemed like it had been like almost one, something that was that related shift. Can you hear me?
You're cutting out. You're pretty pixelated, and you're cutting out quite a bit.
Maybe I should turn off the internet and turn it back on. You want to do that? And
sure.
you can do some chatting, and then I'll come back.
Okay. We'll try that. We will make this work. We will figure it out. So no worries. So what Vanessa was saying was that when it comes to menopause and postmenopausal skin, within the first 5 years of menopause, we actually lose 30% of the collagen that is in our skin. And collagen and those proteins are what give our skin that strength, that structure, and that stretch. And menopause has probably the biggest impact on our skin when it comes to the appearance of lines and wrinkles. And so when you have an ingredient like retinol and that vitamin A derivative, the reason why it's so powerful is because something that can help be supportive of our natural collagen production is very important. But another thing that happens when we age is just our cell turnover slows. And the slowing of our cell turnovers and the loss of collagen actually starts in our mid to late 20s. So it's not something that just shows up when we start going through menopause, but it accelerates basically, and it really accelerates, like Vanessa was saying, all of the stuff that had happened to our skin previously. It really starts showing up much more significantly. And Julie saying, really something I need to prepare for. Yes, like I think that that's a big misconception, is that we start with the skincare routine when we start seeing all these concerns or when they start becoming a major problem. But that's why we start building that routine and we start supporting our skin. And then when those things happen and when we do get into that more accelerated aging process, our skin is much more prepared, much more supported to be able to handle that. But the thing about antioxidants is that they have a protective component. I always say, like, antioxidants are your sunscreen's best friend, because we need sunscreen, and sun care is the number one thing to prevent those visible signs of aging. But antioxidants pair with that and give that antioxidant protection and support your sunscreen in those efforts. So they're very protective too, and they can potentially help prevent the visible impact of that and prevent it from being so extreme when you're using your antioxidants regularly, which is why we're kind of going through this and going through the ABCs, because they really are very powerful. And for me, just my personal experience is, by the time I was 30, my skin did not look great, actually. Right before I became an esthetician, I got my esthetician's license right around the age of 30. My skin looked worse then than it does now, and I'm about to turn 42. And so we can really, and that, like, literally 12 years later, my skin is in a better condition because of having a consistent routine. And I know that I am not going to be immune to the impact of menopause on my skin. It's just not a thing, but I will be hopefully more prepared with my skincare routine. I do see we have some questions. I saw a question about tretinoin. Yes, Marshall, you can use retinol along with some acne products. So acne products in particular are typically, they can have things like hydrogen peroxide, salicylic acid, or other alpha hydroxy or beta hydroxy acids. You just have to know what they are to see if they will work with that. And yes, I saw a question about retinol and tretinoin. Retinol and retinoids are derivatives of vitamin A, but they're just different forms. We have Vanessa back. Welcome.
Oh, I'm hoping. I unplugged everything and replugged it back in. So,
well, you look stunning. So, you know what? It is hard though, because sometimes I feel like my internet's great, and then I have something important I need to do, and it wants to cause a problem. But it knows.
I know.
But we're still talking about vitamin A and retinol. Okay. I kind of shared what you had been saying about menopause and our skincare routine, and how it really does have that impact. Like, it just makes our lines and wrinkles look and appear worse because we lose that collagen. We have that slowed cell turnover. And so incorporating something like a retinol or a retinoid into your routine is so important. And I would say if someone had to choose like one thing that wasn't sunscreen, if you could use a retinoid, it would be that. It is that powerful and that important.
Yeah, I want to talk a minute, take a pause here, because I remember back, I had a dermatologist, and this was probably in my early 30s, and he gave me a prescription for tretinoin, which is the prescription strength of the vitamin A. And I remember I filled it. I'm thinking, I'm so young. Like, why do I need this? I'm so young. And it made me kind of peely. And then I was like, and then I never touched it. Then I have to say, like I said, once I started going through menopause, and interestingly enough, I started really taking care of my skin. It was less during menopause as much as it was more the moment I started to grow up my gray hair. It was like, okay, and I'm going to be full disclosure here. If I'm going to grow out this gray, and I already had the worries of, am I going to be, pretty or lovable, all those things, or am I going to look old, all that stuff that goes on your head. And I thought, I have got to really up level my skincare game, because I want if I'm going to have this gray and I'm already worried about looking and feeling old, then I really need to up level that. And so I up leveled it. The first thing was I found, the kind of the most powerful retinol over the counter product I could use. And it was remarkable, how quickly that it works. But when I hear people say that I just want to be natural, but they're complaining about their skin, they're, retinol, and it's obviously not all created equal. There's a lot out there that aren't so great. I love your products work. They're effective. They're gentle. But I also saw on the, some people said, well, I can't use it, or if it's too strong for me. I mean, I'm a big fan of the layering of having, adding like the moisturizer first. I mean, there are a lot of different things you can do to mitigate that. But I think if you don't have a retinol, whether you have this or whether you have, prescription strength, which is one of the questions I wanted to ask you.
Yep.
If you are, if you are someone that has kind of up leveled, or uses something, a prescription strength, can you alternate? Can you use a prescription strength with this? Would that be overkill? What is I know it's a little off topic, but
No, it's perfectly on topic, because they're all derivatives of vitamin A. So tretinoin is retinoic acid, and that is the form that our skin recognizes. So we have different literal receptors that recognize things. And so retinol has to make conversions in the skin to become retinoic acid for our skin to recognize it. Tretinoin does not have to do that. Adapalene is the over-the-counter retinoid. And then what's really cool is this, and here is a granactive retinoid. So it's a true direct-acting retinoid. So it doesn't have to make any conversions in the skin to be able to be recognized by the skin. Now, tretinoin is a prescription. It is very, very strong. And so some people will only use it once or twice a week. And then on other nights, they will absolutely use something that is easy to tolerate for their skin. And that works great for them. I would not recommend using this on top of tretinoin. That would just be way too much. You wouldn't need that much of that for your skin. So I would just say on any given night, just pick one retinoid product and use that, but you can intermix them throughout the week, and that is perfectly fine. But just that would just be really a lot, especially because tretinoin is so strong, and it can have so many like negative side effects that layering on additional like retinol products and retinoids would just be like so much, and it would be really, really hard on the skin. So now I see Vanessa's a little frozen again. But it's okay. We'll figure it out. I have been seeing people ask about how to use it. And Vanessa did mention the layering and that sandwich method. So some of the things, if you have had a hard time integrating retinol or retinoid into your skincare routine, here are my esthetician tips for being able to use it and see if it works. Some alternatives could be some like bakuchiol. I actually really, when people have a hard time using retinol, this Firm and Lift serum is so great because bakuchiol is paired with it, but granactive retinoid is much easier to tolerate than other forms. But some people just can't tolerate vitamin A at all. They have more of an allergy. So I just say lean into vitamin C if that is the case with you. We're going to see if we can pop Vanessa back in.
I'm just in and out.
It's okay. We're going to figure it out. It's great. We'll figure it out. But I wanted to talk about some tips because you mentioned the layering and how you can layer your retinoids on top of your moisturizer. So some things that can make retinol much easier to tolerate are, first of all, it should only be used at night. I want everyone to know that All like generally most skincare ingredients can be used day or night, but retinol is one of those things that is a nighttime only ingredient. The reason being, yes, it makes our skin more photosensitive, but the sunlight actually deactivates it. And so when you go out into the sun, like you don't want it being deactivated anyway. And it is very potent. So it's a nighttime only ingredient. But sandwiching is another great method where you do your skincare routine and then you either just apply it on top of your moisturizer or you apply it on top of your moisturizer and then do another layer of moisturizer. Is that how you started?
Yeah, I did. And then, and also I use, it's interesting because, I asked you about, can you use both? I have retinol, I have a prescription strength. And I have this, so what I do is I switch off kind of like, it would be like use a bottle of this, of a retinol, and then I will do maybe a month of my tretinoin. So I kind of play around with it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just how it's worked for me. And it's worked well. But what I did when I first started, I went down the rabbit hole and I Googled everything because I didn't want to have the uglies, as they call it, the peelies that I had experienced in my early 30s that were like, I'm like, I don't want any downtime with my skin. That's why I do very little procedures. And I don't like downtime things. And that means like the peeling skin is not lovely. So I started off where I would put on like a hydration serum and hyaluronic acid. And then I would put on my moisturizer. Then I would put on, and I started out with once a week.
Yep.
Then I did, and you know what? I had no outbreak of the uglies, as they call it, with the skin peeling when I did that process. And so I've always shared that with others, is that we think like, oh, more is better. And that's the other thing, is not more isn't better, but that just doing it really, if you want that flawless look, to go in the baby steps, even if you don't think you have a reaction to it. I think that's really the best approach. And then also being really mindful is around your mouth and around and sometimes I'm not real, cautious about it, and I'll just and I'll wake up the next morning and I'll have like little dry patches there. Those areas can be really, really drying. So I'm a little more cautious, or make sure I put a little barrier of the moisturizer in those areas. Here, this little area, this area here seems to be the most sensitive for me when it comes to any of my retinol products. So I'm just a little more mindful, and putting a barrier makes all the difference. And it still helps with the cellular turnover, but it gives you kind of a much more smooth ride. Versus, because, I also, my daughter, I have a daughter who's 20, just turned 22. And she's, both my girls I got them using this a couple times a week. Well, my one that went off to college, she got a little aggressive because she had some acne issues. And I'm like, you're really flaking a lot. She's like, I'm liking this turnover, but she was being way too aggressive with it.
Yeah.
Using it too often, and it wasn't layering, because she just thought, I want to get rid of my acne, so I'm just going to do this and that was the wrong approach. She pulled back, and it made all the difference.
Yeah. And that's the thing, is that when it comes to retinol is really the thing that has the most rules, whether it's traditional retinol, whether it's the Granactive retinoid, whether it's prescription tretinoin. The rules make a big difference, and those adjustments, like buffering it, because what ends up happening, and I don't think the reason why we recommend applying it to dried skin instead of damp skin is that when it's on the skin so directly, and on damp skin, it absorbs very quickly, that just increases the potential for irritation if you're not used to that product. Now, once you work yourself up, then you have people that start once a week and they buffer it, and then they build up to applying it directly on the skin 7 days a week. So we do build up to it. But again, like I don't use prescription tretinoin. But I still don't apply retinoids every single night, because you don't want to exfoliate on nights where you use retinoids. And so I have those like barrier supportive nights, but I see a lot of people mentioning the sandwich method, or like the retinol cream. Sue's saying she uses the retinol cream. Our retinol cream, I absolutely love it. And it's basically like your own retinol sandwich in a jar. And so it's going to be a lighter dose of that retinol. I love starting people when they have never used a retinol product on our retinol cream. Like, it just is the perfect light level of retinol in that nourishing cream. And it's amazing. And it's like buffered in that formula, which is, it's actually encapsulated. Our retinol is encapsulated, which really helps too.
Okay, so you're saying, I love this, so good to know, that you're saying the retinol cream would be what you would give the brand newbie that's never, even before this, you'd say, kind of do like what I did, we're going to use this jar, we're going to use this jar up first. And when you're finished with that jar, then perhaps we move on to that. And you want to get the gentle approach to just...
Well, and everyone's skin is so different. And I'm like, I'm a very conservative esthetician. I mean, we have most people when they start their Go Pure journey, they get the active trio of serums. And this is where they start. And this Granactive retinoid is very unique. It's not like most retinol out there. And I feel like a Granactive retinoid is such the exception because the clinical data around it is that it's so much easier to tolerate. It doesn't have to go through those conversions in the skin. But everyone's different. I mean, I have very sensitive skin. And in my 30s, I literally spent years building up my retinol tolerance because I thought I couldn't use it at all. And I see people all the time saying, I can't use retinol. But then when I finally started with a cream, then I started leveling up what type of retinol it was. Then I started buffering it. I started just like 1 or 2 days a week and really started that process very slowly. And it can be like a time of patience, whereas other people could just start right away and go multiple nights. But I always like to say it's easier to start slowly and acclimate your skin than overdo it and then have to pull back and be like, oh, my skin was not happy, because it is a potent ingredient and it works so well. We talked about barrier support. We have a giveaway winner. I see Vanessa. I'm gonna pop Vanessa back on here. We're just gonna be playing with this. It's gonna be great. We have another giveaway winner. So Ashley Lambert, you have won a serum of your choice. So we will be reaching out to you. Congratulations. And keep showing up in the comments. And remember, at the end, we have a grand prize of a trio of serums. So congratulations.
I have a comment I wanted to address that was in, I think it was Lori mentioned that she was applying above her eyes and then heard not to do that. And so I had to put my 2 cents in about that. Yep. I heard the same thing. And obviously I have been, I'm seasoned now and, about 3 years of using retinol type products. And I know what they say to do and not to do. And then we also know what we do off label and that we try things. And my eyes, ladies, we all know what goes quickest. For me, it's like the aging skin on the eyes, the neck, décolleté, and the back of your hands. Those are like the age that when that's what shows the age and starts. And I was doing everything on my face and this was looking good. I'm like, I can't have this looking good and this not looking good and this being like, so Lori, I did start. I was very cautious and I don't go down here. I just kind of do. And now it's like, and I do that without, I do have to say, I think at the very beginning, was a little sensitive. And so I was was very cautious and maybe did that once of the week treatment to kind of build up. Now I do it and I'm not red. It's nothing. And it really has helped my upper lid. So I don't want to get say something that's not the case, but I'm just being transparent. That's how I use it. And I do put it up there very carefully. Like I said, if you were going to do it, I would just say in your full week, maybe you just try it once a week to see it because it can be sensitive there. Now, like I said, my skin's a rock star. It just, takes it and doesn't get red. But it made a big difference in that area too. So I know that they say not to, but I'm just going to be honest. I do use it up there.
Well, and it's like you said before, those areas have thinner skin. So our eyes and around our eyes has the thinnest skin on our whole body, like the eyes, the backs of the hands, and our neck. But they're thinner, but they also produce less oil and they don't have the same cushion underneath them. So that's why they show the signs of aging sooner, but that's also why they're much more sensitive because of how thin the skin is, but they don't have the same natural oils. And so the oils that protect our skin and have that barrier are that natural moisturizer in our skin, that natural buffer. And it's really different with me, like being the head of education at GoPure, being like the official voice of GoPure, saying like, go ahead and put this on your eyelids. And people would be like, because some people it would not work. And I tell people all the time, I will always give you a starting place. That is my job. I am here to give you a starting place. I will hold your hand. I am your SD bestie. And I mean that like 100%. Anyone who's been here the 2 years I've been here knows like, I am your SD best friend. I want you all to have an amazing experience. So that's when I'm saying like, just you have to be very careful because I want you to have a good experience. And like Vanessa said, she started very in a very small amount. But like we also have to be very careful specifically with retinol. That's one thing you don't want to get too close to your eye because it can actually make your eyes feel much more dry, like your actual eyeballs. And as we age, our eyes do get naturally more dry. There's a lot of components to it, but at the end of the day, like what one person can use on and around their eyes, like someone else might not be able to. So like even just how we layer products, like it's skincare is very subjective. And that's why like we play and we try and we see what works. And we're here to like to really get you set up for success, like where you start, but where you take the journey is very subjective. And that's why we love having people on like Vanessa that share their experience, share, you know, what works for them. Because that's very powerful and that's very important. And that's why the VIP group is so awesome too, because you all do that all day, every day with one another. And so that's just amazing. So I want us to move on to B vitamins because we could talk about retinol and vitamin A like all day long. I mean, I know I could because it just does so many things, but because it does have like some more rules and it you know, all of that. So it's definitely a valuable conversation. But from like
and it
an
needs to be
right,
and it needs, ladies and gentlemen, put it into your skincare routine.
Yeah.
That the moral of the story is sometimes just do this, and if you really want to see a change in your skin, that adding this to that routine with the caveat of going carefully, you're not necessarily using it every night, all of those things, you will see along with vitamin C, the biggest bang for your buck on your skin cellular turnover as we age. It really is this, like the secret sauce for us, for our skin.
Yeah, and it's worth like figuring out. Like, and I'm a pro at this. Like, I know so many things. And I still had to take a very slow and low process to integrating it into my routine and getting to where I am. And I personally, like the biggest difference I have seen is my forehead. Like the smoothness of my forehead and actual like how dense my forehead looks. I look back at pictures from like even 3 years ago when I could not use retinol the way I can now, and you can tell the skin looks so much thinner. And like I don't have Botox, I don't do injectables, and like I can move my forehead and like, but before I'm very expressive when I talk. It's how I am. I'm like a puppet. But like my forehead was always so scrunched because I can just tell how that has improved the visible skin density for me personally. It really but I did it. I took the time, I did the adjustments. I really became my own esthetician in the process to figure it out. And I think that's why I'm so passionate about helping other people, because I personally know how hard it can be and frustrating when you have more sensitive skin and you can't use all the things. So I like teaching all the stuff.
It's interesting because I think we said something about this earlier when we were before the show started, and it was, your skincare is, in my point of view, and I really learned this when I changed my diet into a lifestyle. It's not a diet, it's a lifestyle of eating a plant-rich, plant-centered, loading that up in my life and my diet, that wasn't going to be a short-term fix. And I learned with menopause that a whole lifestyle change was required, because how I was doing things, women, we need to slow down, prioritize, radical self-care, all of that. Well, I also think skincare is a lifestyle, just like your diet, eating, making healthier choices, eating whole plant-based foods, eating clean proteins, all of those things is a lifestyle. All the time, mine looks bad, but they don't want to put. I understand, like a lot of work, but it's a habit. We want things, and we want to have skin. We want to feel our best. live a long, healthy, beautiful life, it requires us to do things so uncomfortable, unwind bad habits, built up through years, including with our skincare, and make it a priority and make it, instead of being like, oh, I have to do all this or this, and understand that dividends. When we start thinking of our skincare like a lifestyle, just like our meditation, yoga, or our workout practice, and our food, all of those things. And I promise you, once you start, even though it seems overwhelming in the beginning, you get that, it becomes like getting on a bus. You just it's like brush teeth. And it won't feel like doing all of those things, but you'll see that the benefit you want to do. You'll want to feed your body with love, great food, and lots of water. You'll want to put your skincare, like it's your self-care day every day. Every day is your skincare self-care day, and you're going to want to do that, and it will show up. Like my skin is a perfect example of that. Like I can tell you, if you went back and looked at my Silver Liberation Instagram from when I started the journey of ditching the dye, even my skin, it looks like I've been accused of facelifts. I do use Botox. I do not use fillers. I have radically shifted my skincare. I take very good care of myself and my diet and my lifestyle. I always have, but it is, I say it's like, it's my job because I want to look and feel my best, and it's doable for all of us, but we have to be willing to say, okay, I'm willing to do that next step, which feels a little uncomfortable, but I promise you get that in place. That's how I want to live. I want to look my best, feel my best, and I know that requires work, but it pays. It pays off, and then it becomes just like it feels uncomfortable when you don't do it.
Yeah.
How about that? It's like when you do your skin. It's like not washing your face before you go to bed, or leaving you sleeping with makeup. Like that would feel so unbelievably awful to me. To not do those steps versus the opposite of doing it and giving myself the love and washing my face and cleansing it and putting the serums on. There's just this, it's a mindset.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. We have some questions, and then I want to move on to B vitamins and vitamin C. So yes. Ellen is asking, I use the product, which is better to use for dark spots? We'll get into that when we talk about vitamin C, but vitamin C is really going to be our dark spot superstar and our new 30% vitamin C booster, not vitamin C booster, because we have 2 new vitamin C's. The 30% vitamin C dry oil, but the booster is actually amazing for that too. But this is a formula that is specifically designed for dark spots and hyperpigmentation. With the type of vitamin C and the other ingredients we have in here, you can use it as a dark spot treatment. You can use it as an all over dry oil treatment. It's amazing. And then the next question was about how long before we notice those spots fading. This is something that I think is important to address because someone also asked what products can improve the appearance of dark spots and hyperpigmentation. Really, all of your antioxidant skincare are going to work in different ways to improve the appearance of dark spots. Your retinol, your vitamin A, absolutely. B vitamins absolutely do as well. And we're going to talk about those in just a second. But for sure your vitamin C, but you have to be doing proper sun care, because if you're not using proper sun care and watching the heat on your skin, you just can't improve the appearance of those, or it will make the timeline much longer. But I do always say that dark spots and hyperpigmentation will take longer than most things. It requires a lot of patience, but everybody's situation is going to be different. It's very subjective. What works for one person doesn't always work for someone else, because the cause of our dark spots and hyperpigmentation are very different. The amount of sun exposure we've had, even the color of our skin, impacts that. And so Maria's saying she saw improvement in 2 weeks. And for me, for my dark spots, I have this one big dark spot on the side of my face. And I saw huge improvement with our spot corrector pen. But when I integrated in the vitamin C booster powder in my day routine and the dry oil in my night routine, these 2 leveled that up to the point where it's barely visible now. I was shocked. And so really it's the type of hyperpigmentation, what caused it, and what people don't realize is heat actually anchors it into the skin, essentially, into the base layers of the skin. And things like melasma and hyperpigmentation, when we get UV exposure, it makes the cells that produce melanin essentially like hyperactive, and other things will anchor that pigment there. And it has to work out and up through those layers of the skin. But those types of cells, once they become hyperactive, kind of remain that way. And so that's why they come, like in the summer, I have one that when it gets warm shows up right here, but in the winter I'm like, I did such a good job.
Exactly.
Like there's a difference between the cause of the hyperpigmentation and the dark spot, and then how it appears on the skin. Like I could talk about it all the time, but that's why it's very different per person. And it's a constant thing, because you can be like, oh, that's gone, and then it can reappear if you stop doing those things, because of how it actually lives in our skin. And so that's why like sun care and having a well-rounded routine with different antioxidants, because they actually improve the appearance of those dark spots at different parts of the process. So they really work in concert together. And that's why it is, skincare is subjective. I say it all the time. I'm like, skincare is so subjective. And Tammy's asking, can you use the dry oil morning and night? Yes, you can. You can use it. It's very easy to tolerate, but it is still 30% of the form of vitamin C. So again, like I don't want someone overdoing it. I love it for sure in my night routine. I do use it with retinol, and I spot treat during the day. And sometimes I mix it into my moisturizer during the day because I love it so much.
And I take it all over. I literally, because I'm working on my arms.
I love it on the backs of my hands. I love it on the back of my hands.
I mean, it's funny because I had like a birthmark forever there, and it's even lightening that, which, because I don't love the birthmark. And I had, like you too, I had almost like I don't know, like the state of Texas in my, of my face, like the, like a dark spot. And 5
Oh no, you froze.
Is it better?
No, you're a little frozen. But we're going to do a giveaway really quick while you unfreeze. We're going to choose a giveaway winner for a serum of your choice. So I see the confetti. Martha Prideaux, I hope I'm saying your last name correctly. Congratulations. You won a antioxidant serum of your choice.
Yay.
Thank you so much for participating in the conversation. When you're asking questions, showing up in the conversation, that's how they are choosing winners. So congratulations. And I know that there are a lot of questions. And if you have questions that we don't get to, because you guys ask so many great questions, make sure you head over to our VIP group after the live. You can ask them in our VIP group. You can email them to support@gopurebeauty.com. It really is Kaylee and I that work with our customer service team and help support them. So you really do get esthetician support when you ask questions, both in the VIP group, because we love being in there, and then when you reach out to us individually. So I want to briefly talk about B vitamins, and then because we're talking about dark spots and hyperpigmentation, vitamin C, because we've already been talking for so long, because I knew we would just have the best chat. But B vitamins are essentially those booster barrier supportive vitamins. And the GoPure serums that feature B vitamins are the 10% niacinamide booster. Niacinamide is vitamin B3. And our dramatically dewy serum. It has panthenol, which is provitamin B5. The 10% niacinamide booster is really ideal for normal to oily skin and everything in between. But what B vitamins do is they help promote those natural barrier components within our skin. They're very soothing. They can improve the appearance of redness. They can help support natural skin hydration and moisturization. So both do that. But what's unique about niacinamide is that it can improve the appearance of oiliness on the skin, balance that oil production, and minimize the appearance of pores. It can also help with breakout prone skin. And I have teenagers, and I know you have a 19-year-old, so I love this. But I use this. And in the summer, when it's warmer, my oil production really kicks up and my T-zone just is a drama queen. And I am obsessed with this. And then you told me that you are just playing with the Dramatically Dewy.
Yes.
And this one is like that liquid silk. It's like the most incredible moisturizing serum, because it's not just hyaluronic acid. And I hear people say it all the time, like the 3 weights of hyaluronic acid. And that's great because it can penetrate the skin at different levels and plump the look of skin. But the panthenol in here, that vitamin B5 and hibiscus, are the barrier supportive component. That's what's going to help our barrier have much more integrity and help retain moisture in the skin, help it feel more supple, help give that glow. So it really takes it to the next level. It's not just your basic hydration hyaluronic acid serum. And the B vitamins are just important for our lipid barrier. With menopause in particular, we just don't produce as much oil, but I don't know if you know this, and most people don't. So ceramides make up half of our skin barrier. Love ceramides in skincare. Ceramides I'm obsessed with. But by the time we're 30, we're producing already 40% less ceramides. By the time we're 40, we are producing 60% less. And so that has a huge impact. So when we go through menopause and we're like, my skin feels more dry, my wrinkles look more exaggerated, all of these things. Well, we don't make as much oil and we're not making as many of those, that ceramide in particular, and all of those other barrier components. And that's what does it. So when we support it with barrier supportive things like B vitamins, it really is that ultimate like sidekick to our retinol or our vitamin C or whatever else, but they can have such a dramatic improvement on the skin. So for me with combo sensitive skin, this is my summer superstar, the niacinamide. And the dramatically dewy is like my cold month superstar. But like I just, depending on what my skin needs, I mix it up, but they can both be used day or night. They pair with everything. You don't have to like worry about rules. I'm like, just put it on your face. Your face is going to be so happy.
I tell you, I'm like a layering queen. At first I was like so confused. How do you layer? Like, what do you, is it dry skin? Is it wet skin? How long do you wait? It was so confusing because there's so many different serums. But I have to tell you, because my skin is now like the Sahara Desert with this menopause, and it sucks up and drinks everything, I am a layering queen. I love to layer my serums, and I give it, maybe 30 seconds or so, not enough for it to dry through, maybe 60 seconds. I don't like to wait a long time in between because I've got the things to do. But it really does make a difference adding some of these, like I said. So I'm super excited to be playing with the dewy. I love that, this obviously is my first that goes on, generally that's my first right after I've washed my face, and I love it. And just having a few of those extras, then adding my moisturizers on top of that. And then also, I know we touched on the sunscreen, and I'm so excited because I know that GoPure's working on a new product, which is amazing, but you have to, those age spots, sunspots, hyperpigmentation, you have to wear your sunscreen with it, or all your work is for naught.
Yeah.
And the other thing, and I know I'll move on quickly, but I think this is so important, is that sunscreen, even if you aren't going outside, and again, you're in that junk light all day long with the fluorescent lighting in your office, shopping, in the stores, any of that, on your computer, that your sunscreen protects you from those UV, that blue ray that shows up. So if that has to be, it's a non-negotiable in your skincare routine. If you want to keep those spots that you've worked so hard at bay, that has to be in your daily routine.
Yeah, for sure. And so everyone in the comments, who's excited for the sunscreen when it's going to be available?
I am.
I mean, I had been, because I get to help with, I just throw my opinion around here because that's what I like to do. No, but I'm like kind of the internal like skincare guru, And so like we have spent like over 2 years developing this, so much back and forth, just a refusal to like compromise on like how clean it is, what it is, the texture, the smell, like all the things that sunscreen is so hard to formulate. It has to have all those extra approvals. And so I'm so excited. So everyone stay tuned because, and I'm just going to say something. You want to be in our VIP group. If you want first access to the sunscreen, you want to be in our VIP group. Make sure you join our VIP community because like Vanessa said, we talk about these vitamins, all these things you do for your skin and eating well and all this stuff. But if you're not like taking proper sun care measures, it will not work. You will not get the same results. They will not be sustained results because you're continuously accumulating damage regardless. The natural aging process, but the sun literally, like 80 to 90% of the aging we see on our skin is from sun exposure. And so the preventative measures for that, and just think of it as providing a force field and a shield for your skincare too, to do a better job. So yes, stay tuned, get in our VIP group. And people are gonna be so, I mean, I hope everyone is as happy as I am, and because we have spent, like, poured our heart and soul into this. So even down to the name, like what we named it. But it's very exciting. So I want to jump into vitamin C because we have a lot of people that have been wanting to learn about vitamin C. And we have touched on it, but vitamin C is like that daytime superstar, but you can use it day or night. And we
I'm using it at night. Yeah, I just switched mine tonight. So it was today, now it's at night.
Yeah. And vitamin C is interesting because it's so important nutritionally, it's so important topically, but it's actually a vitamin that we do not synthesize naturally. So we have to get it in our diet. And if we want it in our skincare routine, we have to apply it topically. Other vitamins, sometimes we do synthesize naturally, or we synthesize it some, but we need to support it. But like vitamin C is like, we do not make it. So we gotta use it. But in skincare, it's a whole category. So people ask, like, why do you guys have so many vitamin C products? We love vitamin C here at GoPure. We have it in our cleanser. We have our vitamin C moisturizer. And we have our 3 now amazing treatment products for vitamin C. Do you have a favorite, Vanessa? Do you have a favorite?
I do. You know, it's interesting. I have been, you know, I started off with the Brighten and Even serum with the vitamin C and the ferulic acid, which I love. But in the summertime, what I've been using is the powder, is the vitamin C booster with the powder. I love that. Obviously, I use the vitamin C oil on my neck, and I'm kind of experimenting, playing around with it on my neck, chest, and the back of my hands. But I really like the booster. I've been putting that into, because I have a robust serum rotation. I like to put that into, and I feel like that this gives me a little more powerful.
Yes, this is going to be very powerful because this is, so like I said, vitamin C is a whole category. And ascorbic acid is pure vitamin C. So this has pure vitamin C in it with ferulic acid. So this is going to be that pure vitamin C, that gold standard vitamin C. The reason we have it in the powdered form and you mix it is because vitamin C naturally is very unstable, ascorbic acid, because it's a powerful antioxidant. When we say unstable, it means like it's trying to, like, so hard to be an antioxidant. It's like out there trying to fight free radicals. So it will like do it before it gets on your skin if it's not in a good formulation. It's like, no, I already did my job. I was just out here fighting those free radicals. And you're like, wait, but I really wanted that benefit for my skin. So we put it in a powder so you can control the amount that you use, but it stays fresh till you mix it. You just need to mix it into something water-based. So you don't want to mix it into a pure oil, basically. You can mix it with just water. You can mix it into your serums, your moisturizer. It's very like flexible how you use it, which is great. It might still be out of stock though, and I might get in trouble for talking, but here's why. We sold 10,000 of these so fast because it's such a good product. So like we just like, it's really amazing. And there are comparable products to this that sell for like $100 and ours is around 30. So
yeah, you know what, I have to say, you know, like I said, I went to I used to go get my facials once a month, which I haven't been to a facialist in, it's been a long time. But you know, once COVID hit, I did my own routine and started looking better than ever. But what I can tell you is that I didn't spend as much money on my skincare when my esthetician, who was fabulous, by the way, recommended, because it was so darn expensive. I mean, it would be like 100, you know, a lot of the products that they use, I won't name brands, but there's a brand out there that's the Gold Star. That's fat. It's really great, but it's about $115, $120 per bottle. And so honestly, I didn't jump on the wagon very much because I just didn't feel like, I'm like, that's a lot of money to put in.
Yeah.
Your value. That's why I love your brand, that it's, you know, it is affordable and it works. It's effective. And like I said, I've got my 22-year-old, my 19-year-old, and myself using, and then my sister, all different age groups using your products. And they're, you know, even my sister, who's, you know, watches every penny. She, you know, it's in her budget and it's effective. And I think that's just such a great thing about GoPure Beauty that I love.
Well, and we work very, very hard to, I mean, they're intentionally priced very responsibly. And we all know right now it is so hard with the way like manufacturing costs are rising, all of these costs are rising. And it's the team behind the scenes, like I wish people could see how hard they work, because the value that's in this is astounding. Like I know, because this is my job to know these things, but like this form of vitamin C and the vitamin C oil, because it's an oil soluble form of vitamin C, it's very, very stable. And we have it at 30%. I literally don't know another product that has this form of vitamin C at 30%. And it is actually the most expensive form of vitamin C because it's so unique. It's so stable, easy to tolerate, and it's fairly analogous to pure ascorbic acid. But it penetrates very deeply and it's very effective. And again, like comparable products to this, like will be over twice as much and have a fraction of the amount of the superstar ingredient. And someone said like, okay, I've never tried, I saw in the comments, you've never tried Go Pure. What would put you over the top? And it really is, at the end of the day, I want people to know that the value that is in there, like these are such great products. They are clean, they are clinically proven and effective products. But we also have a 60-day satisfaction guarantee and the most stellar customer service team on the planet. You get estheticians that help you on this journey. We constantly provide education, but we really do have such an incredible satisfaction guarantee. So I would say like you really have nothing to lose because you can just jump in, be supportive, and try and have that glowing skin. We call the Go Pure glow is that confidence that really radiates from within. Yes, we get glowing, amazing skin, but it really does make us feel more confident in our skin every day. And when you can afford it, you can continue to use it and have a robust routine. If that's
and something that I want to interject to all the viewers out there, all the Go Pure people who love Go Pure and those who are just new to it, is that one thing that I really love, I am privy to work with a lot of different brands and try new skincare products, and it's amazing. But what I love that is unique, and I say this in a sea of products and brands, it is very, very rare and it's unique that Go Pure has an in-house esthetician that is doing all the educating, that at your fingertips, that if you have questions, I mean, there's a lot of brands you could reach out to and you don't get response. You have constant education on how to use the product, best practice to use the product, or if you have a question, or uncertain how to use something, that they will answer immediately. So that the customer service is incredible. But you can ask them, even if it's on social media, it doesn't matter where. Yeah. It's as if, as you say, your SD bestie in your pocket, basically, or I put it in your pocket, is that you basically have, with Go Pure has really designed a beautiful product and a beautiful mission with their brand to educate, to really bring to meet the client where they are, and to teach them so they understand, so that you can have better, get a better result from your product. Which is one more thing I want to say, and that is that your skincare is only, you can have incredible results with the skincare with Go Pure. Okay. If you want even better results, then start caring about what you put in your body. I've said that before, but I'm going to say it again.
Yeah.
Your mother was right. Like, eat your fruits and vegetables. That it is, this, and Go Pure wants your skin to look great. They want their products to work. But if you want it to work even better, start from the inside, and your water intake, all those things that just sound mundane and boring. I promise you, it'll be like a trifecta. Yes, hydrate, hydrate, hydrate. So don't just think I can eat my standard American junky diet over here and you can't outrun a bad diet. And your skin may look fabulous and glowing when you're younger. And there's those rare few, it's kind of like those people, those uncles that are drinking and smoking until they're 90 and you're like, how'd they do it? But they just got away with it. There's those rare few that can do that. But for the most part, our diet and lifestyle will catch up with us. And if it hasn't caught up with you yet, it most likely will. And just take that for what it is. Eat your fruits and vegetables.
Well, and that's kind of like, I think of like serums as like the fruits and vegetables of your like topical routine. Like this is, you mentioned like before we were talking, like, don't stress about it. Just like eat the rainbow, eat a good variety. Just be intentional. It's about being intentional. It's the same thing. I like consider this like, this is like applying your fruits and vegetables. You know what I mean? And
it is. It is.
And it is about like finding what works for you. Like we talk about like vitamin A, we hear it's like great for the eyes, and beta carotene and all those things. Same thing for skincare, like the B vitamins, and those are great. Like we can get those from different sources. Vitamin C, we know that's great. It's the same thing with skincare, but it is about a holistic, well-rounded, intentional approach to just like caring for ourselves, because our skin is our largest organ. And no one gives you a hard time for saying, like, I need to do things to care for my heart health, right? But for some reason with skin, they're like, it's vain. I'm like, our skin is our largest organ. And it actually, think of it as like two-sided. It's working internally and externally. And it really works very, very hard. And it tends to get stuff last. So when you have this great diet, like stuff tends to get there last, but we also, there's a lot of layers. And our skincare routine, like you said, like you don't do all of these extra things, and you're very transparent about what you do. I very much like that too, where I'm about to turn 42. I don't know what else I will do with my skin, but at the end of the day, throughout my career, I'm going to show women the power of a home skincare routine. And I'm going to be a reflection of like, this is me with my home skincare routine. And I'm a clinical esthetician. I can do like crazy treatments. Sometimes I'm like, I can't believe they would let me do this, but I can.
Yeah.
But like my skin is my home skincare routine, because it's so powerful when you are intentional. But I know we want to do a grand prize winner. I did see someone ask how, if they need some extra hand holding. We do have a quiz. So we have a skin quiz on our website, which is a great starting place. You can always ask your questions in the VIP group. Kaylee is amazing, by the way. I will never be able to say enough good things about Kaylee. She's an incredible esthetician as well. And myself, we are in the VIP group, but you can always email support@GoPureBeauty to get additional help with your routine. But it's really Kaylee and I that run our social media. All the videos you see, whether you're on YouTube or TikTok or Instagram or Facebook, we really try and meet people where they are. It's really Kaylee and I. It's really two estheticians. And we will answer your questions and we will help you too. So I know that it can be very intimidating to get started on a routine. We actually have some new bundles on the website that I actually did personally work with to put together to make it easy, to help whether you have sensitive skin, whether you want a very basic routine. And you can build your own bundles too. So we are really here to help you. We know we had so many questions, and I love your questions. They are incredible. We can go back through here after the live and answer questions in the comments as well. But reach out to us in the VIP group to start, because you want to be in there. It's on Facebook. It's the Go Pure VIP community, where you can get tons of support and first access to amazing things. We have so much cool stuff coming up that I can't say, but like, just buckle up, because it's going to be great. It's going to be so great.
And also, Stephanie, if anyone has any questions as from a menopausal standpoint, or questions about my skincare, or anything, I'm always happy to answer. You can always send me a direct message at Silver Liberation. I'm on Instagram or TikTok for the most part. I'm very transparent. If there's anything question that I can help with that you're curious about, I'm always welcome. I'd love to share that as well.
And we're so happy to have you here and just to be able to share that perspective. I know we had so much stuff that we wanted to get into and share. I feel like we will have more of these conversations. I feel like we should just like hop on Instagram sometime and like chat, because there's so much we could say, both from our personal experience, from my perspective as a professional, from Vanessa's perspective as a professional, about any one of these things. There's just like so much that we could say about it. But while they're choosing a grand prize winner, I do want to get into the comments. So Kaylee, did you see any questions that you could pop up on the screen that maybe Vanessa and I can address to kind of close out the show? Because I know there's so many, and it's so hard because like she and I are chatting and you all have great questions, and we never want you to feel like we're ignoring you all. But this is being streamed on multiple platforms. So everything that we see on our end is coming in from multiple platforms. And so it's very hard for us to see them all, for sure. But we also our next live is actually just going to be a Q&A session. So like we will have those too. We have a grand prize winner. Yay! Oh my gosh, you will get to choose your own trio of serums. So we have two main trios. We have our classic Actives Trio Serum Set, and then we have the Booster Trio Serum Set, which has the niacinamide instead of the retinol. So Saima Sadiq. You are our grand prize winner. Congratulations. Thank you so much for participating. Vanessa, I think I would like to answer a few questions if you want to hang around for a moment and see if we have just some questions here. Kaylee, I don't know if you saw any. I mean, there's just so many questions. I saw Nicole asking about teenage acne. That is such a unique thing. I have 3 teenage sons. And so like I have been very passionate about helping teens with their skin as well, just because it's so unique. And my journey as an esthetician has involved like having people that I know have teenagers too. So I've been a go-to for just being kind of that mom esthetician, I guess. Here's what I will say with teens. And I know that you have a 19-year-old too.
I have 2 younger ones. I have 3 daughters too. And they suffered horrifically with acne.
What I will say about acne is that acne is an actual medical condition. So people like over 80% of people at one point in their life will suffer from some form of acne, whether they're a teenager, whether they're adult, and there's actually menopausal acne that can show up. So what I will say is there's a difference between breakouts and like when you start getting into more advanced acne. For teenagers in particular, I don't want people to be afraid to go to the dermatologist and explore more advanced treatments and prescriptions from a dermatologist, because they can be life-changing, because it is truly an inflammatory condition of the skin. There are so many things that become involved, but it is so important to get our kids going on the basics. The basics of skincare are cleansing your skin and using a moisturizer and that proper hygiene, and then see where you get the skin. Then seeing if you need to integrate in maybe like a medicated toner, like a salicylic acid or a benzoyl peroxide wash. I love Panoxyl benzoyl peroxide wash. You can get it at Walgreens or Target, but it can be very subjective. But I will say that having the guidance of a skincare professional when you are truly working with acne is important, but just start with the basics, a good cleanser that's not going to be too harsh, a moisturizer, because we still need to moisturize even breakout prone skin. And then I like starting with something like a salicylic acid toner, and then maybe adapalene for, but like reach out, we can chat, but it's some of it is just starts with the basics, and then get some professional guidance will make a very big difference.
And don't ever forget that, and no one wants to hear that, but don't ever forget that, you know, the food, the sugar, the junk definitely can wreak havoc. It doesn't always make a huge difference. Sometimes it can make a huge difference. So I think that when you're dealing with the acne, to not solely just think of the skin, to look at what are any of the potential culprits.
Yeah.
What we consume as well as the outside.
Sugar is inflammatory. It really is. Teen acne is its own thing. Adult acne in particular, I really have a very serious nutrition conversation with that as well. I see that come into play quite a bit when it comes to adult acne and menopausal rosacea, because everyone has different triggers. Rosacea in particular.
Red wine is a no. No red wine.
Like the first thing I say with people that have rosacea is there are multiple types of rosacea. People think rosacea is rosacea. It's not. It can be important to get diagnosed with the right type of rosacea and know your triggers. Stick with very soothing products. Pay attention to hormonal changes that can happen, like the placement on the face, like the jawline, the places where we get lymphatic drainage. Those are telltale signs of those hormonal causes. But again, one of the things I'm kind of doing behind the scenes here is with helping encourage some things with what I want us to be able to offer here at GoPure, and specifically things that can improve the appearance of breakouts, because adult acne, adult breakouts is a very real thing, especially with mature skin and menopausal skin. I think mature skin is really a skin type. I think it should be classified as an official skin type. I don't know why it's not, quite frankly. But there are things that we need to do in our routine. Retinol and retinoids make a very big difference because of how they impact, and support cell turnover. But exfoliation is very important, keeping our pores clear, but not over exfoliating. But we've had people that even just with integrating in our 10% niacinamide booster, because of how niacinamide can improve the appearance of acne and breakouts, can make such a big difference because of how it's barrier supportive and how niacinamide works, specifically with menopausal rosacea and breakouts. But it's so subjective, and those dietary triggers are huge when it comes to rosacea in particular. And I see that Vanessa has, I don't know, you're a little frozen for me again. I'm going to see if we have one more question, but Pamela's saying like the clean skincare too. You know, there are certain ingredients that can be problematic for people's skin and make it more reactive. And one of those things is, I'm not a fear-mongering person whatsoever, but different preservatives in skincare can actually make us more reactive. And that's why one of the reasons why I love that we don't use parabens here at GoPure, because personally, I have seen the reactive component to it potentially. And I love that these are clean products that are clinically proven. We really push our chemists. We push them very hard to not have things. Our no list is constantly growing. And we do work to make them very affordable. So thank you so much, Pamela, yes, for that comment. But we have had such a great chat. I feel like I could just chat with you forever, Vanessa. This has been so much fun, and I hope we can do it again sometime. If you ever want me to hop on one of your channels, I would be happy to.
I would love to do that.
And we could have a chat, because I just like to be able to be a resource when people have questions and support them on their skin journey, so they can just feel so confident in their skin.
I think it's awesome. It's such a great job. I love all of your little educational videos and things that you do on social media. They're so valuable. They're authentic, and they works. You know, I'm thrilled with GoPure. I can't recommend the products enough. I am a product of the products. I said I use them. I love them. As I mentioned, my daughters use them. My sister uses them. I recommend them. I get DMs, you know, a few times a week. They say, hey, you know, I saw that you use this. Do you really like it? You know, is it something you really like? And people ask that all the time, especially since I get to work with different brands. And I'm like, yes. And I also, you know, I will close with this. You and I were talking, you know, last week or so, and I said that, again, I'm fortunate in being a beauty influencer that I tried different brands and all of that, but that if I were spending, you know, when I'm spending my own money, like what am I going, because there's a difference between using products that's given to you versus what am I going to consciously pay money for. And GoPure, without a doubt, again, the value, the quality, the company, the philosophy, all of it, you know, makes me want to put my money. That's where I want to spend my money. Transparency, I think, is probably one of the biggest. That its efficacy and your transparency as a brand, to me, is really important. Especially, again, our skin's our largest organ, and there are so much that when they take out one thing, they secretly put something else into a product. And you know, GoPure, I feel like it's a trusting brand, and I think we've lost that through the, you know, through the years, that trust with so much deceptive practices in businesses and brands. And GoPure, from my perspective and my experience, is, you know, honest, authentic, and transparent.
We love hearing that. Thank you so much, because I mean, it really is authentic what we put into this, how much we care about everybody, and really trying to make the absolute best, cleanest, most effective, most affordable skincare, and support with our customer service and education and everything else that we can, and having amazing guests like you to share their experience. And so we just appreciate it so much. And this is great. So everyone, yes, follow Vanessa. Her handle is up here on the screen, Silver Liberation. You can search, and she should pop up on all of the channels. You can see all of her gorgeous photos, and she's just amazing and so fun to follow as well for all of the different types of content that she shares, not just skincare. You're just so great to follow. So thank you so much for joining us. Thank you, everyone who has been here in the chat and hung out with us and been a part of the conversation. Again, make sure you join our GoPure VIP community on Facebook. And if you have any questions or want to be on any of the email or SMS lists, need help with your skincare routine, have any questions, you can always, again, email support@gopurebeauty.com, and we've got your back. I have my pug right here too. My pug is throwing a temper tantrum on the floor. So
yes, she was like dying to come up and say hello. Yes, she needs a bath so badly. She needs. This is Mabel Rose, but she needs to come say hi.
Oh, she's so cute. I would scoop Pepper up, but he's being chunky and throwing a fit on the floor next to me.
Yeah, she needs a beauty. She needs a beauty self-care day. Mama promised her. I can't say the word. I have to spell it, because when I say the word, she runs to the BATCH. Yes.
Pepper just got his last weekend. He just got groomed because his 12th birthday is in a few days. So
that's a big one.
He had to get all, he had to get his skin treatments done for his birthday for sure.
Love it. Love it.
Well, thank you so much. You have an amazing evening. Thank you, everyone who joined us. We will see you next month. We are actually going to be doing a Q&A with an amazing dermatologist resident. So the whole session is going to be a question and answer. So that is going to be so fun. And we have so many fun things coming up in August and September. So make sure you follow us in all the places and spaces so you do not miss a thing.
Awesome.
Thank you so much. Bye. Thank you.